Hello, and welcome to this collective and timeless reading. This is E-Star Tarot, and today I'm going to be asking our guides I asked ahead of time what I should be reading about today, and they said, what do you need to remember? Which I was kind of resistant to because I thought, well, I kind of did a reading like that just recently, but they were very insistent about it. So it's going to be about what do we need to remember? And I'll say that I don't know if it's necessarily something from, because that reading it ended up being, things from maybe a past life. And that may be the case here today, but I think it might be something like, what do you need to remind yourself of? What do you need to remember about yourself? Like what you believe and what you need to move forward. So yeah, let's go with it. What do we need to remember? The highest and greatest good of this collective. Pleasure. 6 of Cups. Okay. Yeah. So 6 of Cups. That's a card of nostalgia, actually. It's usually a card that, you think of warm memories and warmth from the past. So I think in this case for you, it's to do with remembering to have fun in life, remembering to enjoy pleasure in life. And I get the sense that maybe you've kind of been sort of stoic, actually. Not really living life for the joy of it, living life to do, to accomplish, to be a moving piece on a board. I'm seeing like a checker or a chessboard, a chess piece. You've been living like a chess piece, and your guides want you to remember to be not just a cog in a wheel. They want you to remember to be playful with life, to enjoy it. Yeah. And I brought in a piece of lapis lazuli today, so maybe your intuition's going to play a part in that. I think lapis lazuli helps heighten your gifts in that way. Yeah, good for your throat chakra, but also I think your inner sight, right? Like your clarity. Oh my gosh, abundance, 3 of Cups, yeah. And 3 of Cups can a lot of times mean other people too, like 3 people coming together. But they're not in this, it's not like 3 Pentacles where it's you're working on something. It's 3 Cups having fun. Like I always think of drinking with friends, like having, it doesn't have to be like alcohol drinking. It could be like, cups of tea and a tea party with 3 friends, so I think that's sort of why they want you to focus on that abundance or that feeling of abundance, I should say, because you're going to be doing that more now. You're going to have people coming in that are good friends, that are, sorry, I keep having to push in my chair. Yeah, and maybe that's another message, adjustment. You got to adjust how you've been holding yourself, keeping yourself, because I think when we've been in a mode of working for so long and I'm hearing like in survival mode for so long, we kind of forget how to have fun. And you're going to have some more opportunities coming in for some fun and joy in your life. And so I think, it would be good for you to remember how to have fun. Or maybe these people coming in are going to help you do that. Maybe they're going to help you have some fun as well. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. Wanted to wait for the pipes to stop running. So yeah, so we were talking about abundance and 6 of Cups. I think that, this is really going to be, I'm seeing a lot of good for you. I think you kind of need this. I think you kind of need a break from focusing on what you need to do to make everything work. Yeah, you've been pushing yourself way too hard. Look at that, 10, look at all those wands you've been carrying. Well, usually it's someone carrying the 10 of wands, not in this one, but it feels very restrictive in this reading, very oppressive, almost like a cage. You've been keeping yourself in a cage, trying to maybe deny yourself things to become I don't know, become something that you think you should be, but it's actually holding you back. Because I think what you need to do is be more playful with the universe and playful with other people as well. I think you kind of need that. I think you really need to have people in your life that remind you what life's all about, you know? Make things a little more joyful. You're meant to have fun while you're here. You're not meant to do and complete your mission or whatever. That's part of it, but like we all come here for a reason and things we have to do while we're here, but you can't push yourself so hard. Ooh, the sky just darkened. Hermit. It's funny, I talked about the sky darkening, and then we got the Hermit card. He's in darkness, but he's carrying the light. And the Hermit card keeps coming up. So it might be referring to me, but I'm a bit of a recluse sometimes. But I think for you, you've been keeping yourself trying to learn esoteric knowledge, I'm hearing. Trying to like really upgrade yourself spiritually, and it's worked. It's really worked. And that was part of the reason you had to be on your own for a long time, was to learn and to find your inner light without other people around as distraction or to feed negative emotions into you or to drain your energy. But now it's time for you to take, because this is also a 10, right? Which is the completion of a cycle. That cycle is over. This is over. And now you're about to go into a different mode of being. One that's, you know, like these beautiful cups, right? You're gonna have a lot of fun, to be honest. And it's also about other people as well. The cups are all about emotion, right? Emotion, connection, relationships. So, you know, maybe I'll get another card here actually, because I think I need one more as well. That's it. Defeat. 5 of Swords. You know, with this, I'm getting that you've actually, it's not your defeat, it's the defeat of something else. You defeated something. And I'm not sure if that's referring to like depression even, or like an illness, but I'm really getting that you beat something here. And where it's a upside down pentagram, I'm thinking of like the devil energy. And to be honest, I think maybe you had some dark negative attachments going on and you had to remove those. And those were partly because you had not been around the right people before. You were around people that were draining your energy and misdirecting you in the wrong path. Yeah. You were getting bad advice and like insights from other people that were trying to throw you off your path. And so I really think that those pipe sounds, I'm getting a lot of like noise distractions lately, and I feel like that's even like that dark energy, right? Hold on. Okay, back. So I really feel, especially with all that noise going on with the pipes there, like it just seems like there are interfering forces going on with you. And that's what you're learning to fight against. You're learning how to call in the light to repel those forces. Because I think when you are the light, the darkness gets really attracted to you. It's like when the light gets brighter, the shadows get darker and bigger. Well, not bigger maybe, but like there's more darkness there. So sometimes that's, you know, it's part of what you have to go through. Sometimes when you are a source of light in the world, the darkness is going to try that much harder to interfere with you. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. It's a good thing that you're doing right. You know, sometimes when you upset the right people, it means you're on the right path, right? Or you're not doing it right unless you're disturbing the wrong people, the bad people. That makes sense. Because sometimes we can go through life thinking that we have to make everyone happy. And there's some people that you actually don't want to make happy. You don't want to be on the side of people that aren't good, right? Maybe that's something you're recovering from, like people pleasing. Yeah. Yeah, you got to remember not to people please and be more in your own energy and be comfortable with that, even if it ruffles some feathers, right? I'm going to get some seed and sickle cards to see what do we need to help us on this journey. What would help us on this journey? Yeah. Oh, Magnolia. That's such a pretty card. I love these pinks. 8. Makes me think of abundance. Actually, yeah, let's put it right by the abundance card there. Abundance, huh? This is still a pretty new deck to me, so I think I will actually look at the book for this. Yeah, Magnolia. When magnolia blooms, the flowers come out long before the leaves do. This miraculous flowering gives them an advantage over other plants which are still busy putting out their first leaves. But it's only possible as a result of careful preparation the season before that allows them to beat the trend. If you want to be one step ahead of others, it may not be possible immediately, but now is a good time to prepare for the next season. Make sure that you have everything you need to be the first to blossom. So maybe this goes along with how you've been pushing yourself. Yeah, I think you've been trying really hard to get ahead, even get ahead of yourself, actually, to be because I think you've found a new path that you found out what you want to do because you've defeated these dark energies in your life. And now you're on a new path. But sometimes when we get onto a new path, we just see how much there is to go because maybe we were distracted on something that didn't, like we wasted a lot of time somewhere. I mean, no time is wasted, really. Everything's a lesson, but you know, we can feel that way when we realize, oh, this is the path I want to be on, not that. So we can get on that new path and feel like, oh my God, I'm so behind because I could have started this so long ago. But actually, you don't need to put all that pressure on your back, right? What you need to do is just look at what needs to be done and start a little bit at a time that works for you, right? Because if we're not having pleasure in the process, right, what's it all for? Suddenly we're back on the other path we didn't want to be on, because the path we want to be on is the one where we have joy and fulfillment. And even if it's technically the path, if we're doing the things right, if we're not living the joy of that as we're doing it, then we're still on the wrong path. I hope that makes sense. But that's what I'm getting. So you want to make sure that you're doing the things that are important to you, but not in a way that's gonna make it be the wrong thing again, right? Jasmine, 10. Look at this knife or sword. It's kind of almost in between a knife and a sword. Or a dagger. Maybe it's a dagger. Maybe that means something to you. I love the smell of jasmine. Jasmine and magnolia are both really good smelling flowers, so maybe you need to smell the flowers more. Yeah, that's a good reminder. Smell the flowers more as you're on your path. Like, I don't know why this analogy comes up, but like, say you're trying to lose weight or something and you're trying to walk a lot, say. You might be one of the, I see a lot of people like that just, they're marching. Like they're clearly trying to get exercise, but they're forgetting to look around at all the nature around them. Like I walk in these beautiful nature parks and I'm just going along, meandering. And other people, they just march by and they miss things entirely. Like they miss really big things. Like I saw, I have this park by an ocean that I love to walk. And it was a really shallow water, so this was such a crazy thing to see. It was dolphins in the water. It was 6 dolphins. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen dolphins that close. So I ran to the shore and was watching them. It was the most miraculous thing, but a lot of people passed by without even noticing what was going on. Like, to me, this was like a miracle. I was like, oh my God, there's dolphins like practically at the shore. But so many people passed by because they were doing that march, walking, walking, walking to walk. Like, you can miss crazy, miraculous things in nature just by being so focused on a goal. You know, Ten of Wands, marching. I don't know why I'm getting marching. It's like, are you overworking yourself, overwalking? I'm also thinking of like the marching ants go with 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. I don't know why I'm getting all these like random songs and messages, but yeah, like, I just see you as this like ant that's working too hard. You're marching along in a line with all these other ants because you think that's the goal, but you just gotta enjoy the journey more. You gotta have fun more. And sometimes your goals happen when we least expect them. The thing that we really want to see or something really cool could happen to us and we could pass right by it because we have that attitude about it. Like, oh, I've got to get this done and this done and this done. Gotta finish my to-do list. No, just go with the flow more. Look, 10 and 10. Just notice that we have 2 10s in the reading. So I think you're moving away from this energy. You're learning this lesson. You're learning that these are the things that you need in life. Not to be goal-oriented to a point of forgetting what life's about. That was a funny little confirmation. I don't know if you heard that. It was like a weird honk, like a ship honk. Got the ocean nearby, so that might be what it is. I'm just reading Jasmine here. It says, you've taken some good initial steps on your journey, but you're starting to flounder. Perhaps you feel as though you could have set out on a different direction, or others are calling you foolish for doing things the wrong way, but you chose this path for a reason. So we've been talking about that, being on a certain path, right? And how you're walking the path. Jasmine always grows exactly where it's meant to, and so do you. You know exactly where you're going and why. Don't let your doubts or the scorn of others make you question yourself. Yeah, so exactly what we're talking about. We need to trust the path and trust if things don't go, we're not in a straight line to that goal. Sometimes we gotta meander a bit because we might discover something on the way, and we might even discover where we want a different path a little bit. We want to end up over here a little bit. Maybe do a trust walk. I don't know if that's a proper term or whatever, but it's what I call it. Which is sort of like you let your inner guidance tell you where to go on a walk. Don't be like, I'm going on this path from here to here to get in this many kilometers, or because this is the path I always walk every day. I know people that walk the same path over and over again, and I'm just like, oh my God. Whoa. That was another big honk. Try and, this is really confirming. You need to let your path meander a little bit more. And what I mean by trust walk is just go on a path and trust you know which directions to go. Like when you come up to a crossroads and you don't know which way to go, trust your intuition and go that path. You might end up somewhere unique and interesting that you've never been before. Explore your city or your town or wherever you live like you're a visitor. Do that. Yeah. And this is also metaphoric as well. Like, it's not just literally walking, but do that as well, because it's a good exercise in using your intuition, I think. I think you could really use that, because sometimes that's a good reminder of like, oh yeah, there are guides and angels around me that want to surprise me with things, want me to try something different, you know? Because sometimes they're the ones that are guiding you. They're guiding your thoughts in those moments. And when you practice doing that, you get stronger at it. You get better at listening, right? I have 2 cards in my hand in a funny way, and I feel like I want them both. Crystal clear intentions, right? Archangel Michael, be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. Yeah, so I guess this is a reminder not to get too lost and because we don't want to lose all focus, right? We don't want to meander to the point that we forget what we were originally seeking out. But I think this is about crystal clear intentions. We were just talking about trusting your guides to guide you on that walk. So I think this could also be about, clearing your head so that you can hear those inner voices. Because especially when we get over-focused on goals, we forget what we actually really wanted to begin with, right? Sometimes the goal becomes a task and not the overall thing that we want, the feeling that we wanted, right? I hope this is making sense, but I'm just going with it. Yeah. Be real about what you desire. Because we can forget. We can forget what we really want. We can get lost in knowing what's good for us, that what we initially wanted. And we can get so wrapped up in a journey that we think that the goal is something else. Like, I gotta achieve this thing because it'll lead me to that goal. But maybe you don't actually have to. Maybe you just gotta keep the end game in sight. But be willing to be flexible if things go a little sideways, right? Ooh, clairvoyance. Archangel Raziel. Never gotten this card. I'm helping your spiritual side to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. Oh, that's beautiful. I love this angel too. I love these peach wings. And he's got a staff that's got all these, I would say it's like chakra. It makes me think of the chakras, but the colors are all different. It's interesting. I wonder what that... I'm really drawn to that scepter. Do you use crystal ones? Maybe that's something for you. Clairvoyance, clear seeing. Yeah, sight. Keeping your goals in sight and not letting them get muddied by these smaller things in the path, right? And I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good way to describe this. Like, maybe you're trying to climb a mountain and you're on this path and some obstacle comes up and you're like a river or there's a little river going through, right? And you get so over-focused on getting over the river because that's the only way you can get up the mountain. But maybe there's actually a different way up the mountain than to get across the river to get to the next side of the path. Maybe the river's there for a reason because you're not supposed to go up that path to get up the mountain. I hope that makes sense. But that's how I'm seeing it. Yeah. So this is really interesting reading. You gotta remember that life doesn't always follow your plan. I think that's the overall message of this reading, is that it's not going to be exactly how you imagined it. It's going to be a surprise. And sometimes we don't like surprises because we feel we want to control things, but life's a little more exciting when it's a surprise, right? What do we got here? Ooh. Self-study. Vadya. Oh, I hope I can pronounce this. Sadhyaya. Svyadhyaya. I don't know. But it's an 11, and that's manifestation, right? And it's a snail. I saw something today, actually, this morning, that was like, it's okay if it goes at a snail's pace because the success is already written. Something like that. The success is already yours. So even if it goes at a snail's pace, it doesn't matter because the end goal is still the same. The end result is still the same. Yeah. And this is a snail that's looking at itself in the water. It's mirror image. So you've got to look inward a bit to decide Is this for me? Is this what I want? And reflect on how you're pushing yourself and why you push yourself even in the first place. And how that relates to your goal is, if you're pushing yourself really hard in something, is it because you want the sense of achievement and not the thing itself, right? Because sometimes it's not even like going back to the analogy of like losing weight. If you are doing that, is it really because you want to be that certain weight, or is it that you want the feeling of not being self-conscious, or that you think certain people will like you if you're a certain weight? Yeah, which is a very there's no judgment here, but like, that's a toxic way to treat yourself. Be like, I'm only worthy of love if I'm this weight. I've known people like that, and even been that way myself at times, especially when I was younger and I was a teenager. Oh, I had such like bad mindsets about health and fitness. Thank God I learned. I'm much wiser now, but like, lots of people can get stuck up in that, and it's not bad to want to be healthy and have a goal for yourself. It's just that, are you happy doing that? Are you having joy in doing that? Because like, if you were, and this is just an analogy I'm using, like this could apply to a lot of things. This could be about you trying to, let's say, become famous at this certain skill, or get this certain job, or maybe even get a house that's really big, or live in a certain place, or get a certain kind of recognition from people. I'm really getting recognition from those around you. And I got air coming up in my throat when I said that. So, be honest with yourself. Speak your truth to yourself about why it is you want something. Because that might be part of the seeking, right? Maybe you're not really seeking that thing. Maybe you're really seeking, we're all kind of seeking love at the end of the day, I think. Love and acceptance. At the end of the day, a lot of people's values, or, their wants essentially break down to that. We all want to feel loved and accepted. So, make sure you're manifesting what you truly want. And you have to look inward. You have to really look at your inner self to see, what do I truly want, if there was no limitation, if there was no results, let's say, if it didn't matter what I did at all, like it either way, whether I achieved it or not, I wouldn't necessarily get recognition or money or security or stability. None of that. Say none of that was true. And it was just about do this or do that. You choose. What would you choose? Yeah. What would you choose if there were no consequences at all? It was just you and pure desire. Yeah. Think about that. Maybe, and write it out if it's hard to organize your thoughts. Because sometimes when we write it out, stuff comes out of us that we weren't expecting. It's like a different part of our brain possesses the pen. And we can get ahead of ourselves, and then suddenly we write something, we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I felt that way about this. Yeah. Oh, you are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. Yeah. And Virgo is such a perfect sign for this, because Virgo is very, the shadow side of Virgo is like self-criticism, being too analytical, picking things apart, especially about yourself. Virgo's really responsible and works hard, kind of like Capricorn. But a lot of the criticism turns inward with Virgo. And like, you need the discernment of Virgo, but without that That's self-criticism. You need to just look inward and realize that even if you don't achieve anything or everything, whatever, you're still loved. Oh my god. I watched for the first time the other night. I think it's The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I don't know if you've seen that, but I watched it and I really resonated with the horse. And at the end, because the horse admits that they can't fly without, or they could fly. They have wings, they can fly, but they stopped doing it because other horses got jealous of them. And the boy, I think, says to him, whether you can fly or not, you're loved. And then he gets his wings. I'm sorry to spoil it, but like, I feel like you really need to hear that right now, because I think you need to tell yourself that whether I do this or that, I'm loved and I'm good enough. It doesn't matter what the end results are. It doesn't matter what I achieve. I don't need to prove anything. I just need to love myself. Feeling emotional. I got another card here that wanted to come out. Nothing is yet set in stone. Yeah. So I think maybe you've been getting down on yourself because you feel like you haven't done enough, or maybe you don't have enough time to do it. Or you're just like, I could do better. But you know what? It doesn't, like, maybe you could, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're having fun, that you're happy, and you're happy doing that thing, right? And this, like, just applying this to myself, I really pushed myself hard at certain things because I wanted to get to a certain level, because I felt like I wouldn't feel happy if I didn't get there. But if I do that, I'm not really having fun, am I? I'm putting too much pressure on myself. And I've realized that I have to let go of the results. I have to let go of the fact that maybe I won't reach that goal that I have in my mind. It's better that I just have fun getting there. Yeah. Whew, it's a lot. But it's a good reminder. And like, Spirit was very insistent that like this is what you need to remember. So, for me and for you, who's listening to this reading, you gotta remember that we don't have to be anything to be loved. We already are, and we're especially loved in the spirit realm. Even if there's no one around you telling you that, there are guides right beside you, putting their hand on your shoulder and being like, we got you, we love you, and we'll be with you till the end, and whatever steps you take. I'm hearing that song. I wish I could remember the name and the artist right now, but it's like, with every step you take, I'll be watching you. I think it's about a father singing about his daughter growing up and watching all her steps as she grows up. With every step you take, with every move you make, whatever path you take, I'll be watching you. Something like that. And that's what's coming to mind. And I get that with your guides. They're really with you all the way. They're never gonna stop and abandon you or say, well, you've screwed up, bye. Like, they're never gonna do that, ever. And every stumble is like, it's meant to be. Every stumble is a teaching, a learning. And whenever you stumble and you're about to hurt yourself, they catch you so that you don't. Oh, 2 cards together. One's reversed. Sodalite and Amazonite. I think Amazonite is a lot about like being adventurous, or maybe I'm thinking of Aventurine, but Sodalite and an Amazonite. I think I want to take a look in the books for these. But yeah, Amazonite, that's a new one. Sodalite's come out a few times, but I really like how the flower petals that are in this are really resonating with these flowers here. Do you like flowers, or maybe you just need to stop and smell the flowers? I think I might have already said that, but really, like, literally do that. If you literally are someone that's marching on a walk, like, stop and make it a practice to stop and smell the flowers and just breathe. Yeah. Sodalite is intentionality, conscious awareness, an awakened state, inner knowing, and self-confidence. Inner knowing. And clear expression of intentions. Remember, crystal clear intentions. Get clear on what you really want, because you don't want to get on a path where you're just completing tasks, but it's not necessarily for what you want. Yeah, a state of conscious awareness is the key to clearly communicating your intentions to the conscious universe. So this goes into manifestation as well. Like, if you're focusing on the wrong thing, you'll manifest something that maybe you don't actually want. And you can easily think that you do want something. It's very easy to trick yourself that you want something and that's your key to your happiness. And people can manifest things and be like, I manifested it. But then when they get there, they're like, oh no, I don't feel any different. I don't feel better. That can happen. So make sure you're manifesting the right thing. And it's hard to know what would make us happy. That is really difficult. You have my sympathy there, because sometimes we don't know what we want. But the way to figure out what we want is to try things, to experiment, to play, to have fun and open up to those experiences. Don't just focus on the goal. Get down in the mud and play. You know? Yeah, just mess around. Like, there's no need for perfection, right? Like, just explore for the sake of exploring. Yeah. Yeah. Glancing through here. It's when we fall asleep to our spiritual nature and connection with the universal consciousness that old habits return and we forget our commitment to personal transformation. Yeah. So maybe, like, sometimes we can get, going back to the losing weight analogy and someone walking to lose weight, like, we could get lost in focusing on a number, say, I want to lose this many pounds, say, but what we really need to do is focus on, am I healthy? Am I happy? Do I feel better in my body than I did before? It's not about the number, right? Yeah. That's pretty much the message of that card, honestly. Being conscious and aware. But Amazonite, I have not gotten that card. I don't know if I've ever gotten that card, so I really want to see what it says. Truth, revelation, the evolution, and natural flow of events. Yeah. Being on the path and letting things unfold, right? So sort of about adventure, but not quite in the same way as Aventurine. It's more like going into the Amazon and being like, I'm lost, but there's a lot of beautiful flowers and trees here, so maybe I'll just embrace that. That's what I kind of think of. Yeah, and not truth and revelation, because we don't know everything, right? We don't know what our end of our life, or like the next stage of our life, is going to be like. We don't know what's coming. And sometimes the universe has a specific plan for us they're like, you don't realize this yet, but this is actually going to be what you really want. And they're going to get us there. They try to help. They can't interfere with our conscious will, though, right? That's very important, because we have free will. So they kind of have to nudge us, get us to see what's good for us. And get us to, but that's part of the test, right? Is to trust and to have faith, right? That's what being human's all about. That's what the human experience is all about, is to do it. It's basically a trust fall. I know it's like, oh, that's the worst because it's scary to do a trust fall. It is scary, but the universe wants to catch you. The universe wants to hold you and help you, but they're not going to push you to make you do the trust fall. They want you to get there to the point that you do the trust fall of your own volition because you realize that you can fall and be caught. That's the point. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Amazonite's pretty much saying the same thing here. Let's see. Some things will be disclosed that may shake you up, but if so, it's all for the highest good. So if there's a shake up, don't let it throw you. Actually, I had a reading recently where it talked about things being shaking up and might be a little scary. Maybe that's a reading for you. I think it was maybe 2 readings ago or a reading ago. Actually, I think it might have been the last reading, yeah. But if something kind of startles you, kind of throws you off, don't let that throw you away from your goals or make you think you can't do something. Hmm. One sec here. Sorry. Oops. Hit the camera a little. I'm trying to get those water and pipe sounds out because last reading was a bit noisy, so I kind of want things to be a bit quieter. But again, we can't control things all the time, right? Something might happen with Amazonite. That's what it's sort of saying is there might be even events in the world that happen that kind of throw you into disarray, like throw you off in a way that you weren't prepared for. And you might think, oh no, I was doing so well and now this is happening and I don't know what my future holds for me. And honestly, I get it with the state of the world right now. Like, it's a bit crazy. So many things are happening all the time, every day. So maybe just make sure you're not absorbing too much of that. Like if you go on TikTok and you watch a bunch of videos that stress you out, limit your time on TikTok. Like, set a limit, set boundaries for yourself on how much of that you can take in per day, right? Because you got to keep your focus. You got to keep clear. And I'm just looking at lapis lazuli, like we were thinking about clear sight, helping us see more clearly, right? With our third eye. I think lapis lazuli helps with your dreams. Your literally when you sleep, your dreams helps you remember your dreams, see your dreams better. But I think this applies also to your living dreams, right? Be clear more on your dreams because maybe you have the wrong thing in mind or you have a certain outcome set, like you're really attached to a certain outcome, but actually things have to go a different way and you'll end up happier if you do. So can we get some just some cards to show us where maybe what the shakeup is going to be? Because I get the sense that there is going to be something new is going to happen that might happen and it throws us. But I got 3 cards. Okay, well, let's just go with it. Prince of Wands. That's the Knight of Wands, if you are not aware. That's big, and the knights are, or the princes are always really fast energy, really sudden fast energy coming in. So, and it's fire, the wands, which is creativity. So, look, air and fire, so big energy. And there's a lion here. I get the sense this could be a person coming in. Maybe this is a new person coming in that could be, could kind of throw you off because maybe you had a certain plan and then you meet this new person and they're like, you might want to adjust your plans around them and then you're like, oh no, I'm getting off track. Purpose, 3 of Wands. This person might not change your purpose, but make you rethink your purpose. but in a good way, because look at the way they're both holding up to the light. I get the sense this pink person's you and this is the orange person, or maybe you're this person. I don't know, but this could also just, if this isn't a person, it could even just be your creative ideas coming in that you realize, oh wait, actually, I like this idea better. Oh my gosh, so many lions too, or lion fire energy, like Leo energy coming in. Yeah, because we got the sun. It's sun in Aries, but that's still, the sun is the planet of Leo. And then we got Leo with strength. And then we got the lion pulling the chariot here, the fire in the air. So there's a lot of fire lion energy. Do you identify with Lyra? Because I'm getting that strongly. And I feel like you're going to meet someone that you knew in Lyra. If you have a past life there, there's something about that. And if not, if this isn't about a connection, a person, this is definitely about your inner sight bringing you creativity that's going to increase your confidence. Because I also get yellow, like solar plexus with this, like your confidence coming in and giving you strength. Strength to follow your path. Yeah. Five of Wands. Again, Wands. They're all Wands. We got Prince of Wands, Three of Wands, Five of Wands. But, I like this. I really like this Five of Wands, because even though the Five of Wands is about struggle and conflict, this one, these people feel like they're all working together. And even when you're with people that you get along with and you're working together on a project, there can still be struggle and conflict. Like, that's just the nature of working collaboratively. So maybe, and look, Five of Swords, Five of Wands, but they're forming the pentagram. Maybe there's something about magic here. Yeah, and actually, that's really drawing my eye. I think you're going to get together with others that are more in alignment with you spiritually and creatively. And this is going to really renew you, give you new strength and purpose. Strength and purpose, yeah. And that's going to be huge. But there might be also people, I also get conflict, like maybe there's going to be some blocking to that. Like maybe some people, like the people from this dark energy, right, that we talked about that you defeated, they're still going to be in the background, I think, trying to throw you off, trip you up. But I don't think they're going to, because I think you're going to have such support around you that and newfound strength that they won't be able to. Because look how this lion has their third eye like radiating. You're powerful here. You have the strength to defeat them because you already did. So they can't do it. They can't win. They can't do anything to stop you. And maybe that's something that was holding you back, that you felt like, if I do this, someone's going to try and sabotage me. It's not going to happen. This reading says no, you're going to be really empowered, really empowered. And if it's not a person coming in to help you, and even if it is, that person, we shouldn't put our power in another person to save us or to give us all the answers that we need, because that's still the power that comes from us, right? I really get that from here. Maybe you just needed to be reminded that there's good people in the world, or people that do align with you, because you've spent a lot of time around people that don't align, and it's almost colored your worldview to think all people are like this, right? A dark energy, but they're not. You just have to you are finding the right people. You're getting there. You're on that path. And I'm being called back to the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse again, because I'm sorry to spoil the movie, but it feels really important for this, so we're just going to go with it. But he kind of realizes at the end that, he has a certain goal, right? To get a certain place, but he looks back and sees his friends, and he realized, maybe I shouldn't say, maybe you should just go watch it. Actually, yeah, just go watch that film. It's just a 30-minute short film, so not much of a commitment there. It's it's beautiful. It's beautifully animated and colored, and the story is just, it'll probably move you to tears, honestly, because it's so simple but so powerful. Every line in that is important. Every dialogue part has deep meaning. But I think you need to value the journey and value the friends that you make along the way towards your goal, because in the end that's what's more important, not achieving the goal. The goal is just something to keep you moving, right? And going back to the idea of the person marching along the walk to lose weight or whatever their goal was, or to get in this certain shape. Maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's about getting yourself involved with a group in a hobby that you like. Like maybe it was more about the time you spent walking with a friend and talking with a friend, or realizing what you could do on that walk, or being able to see certain things on that walk because you took the time. Yeah. The journey is more important than the destination, right? That's kind of the ultimate message of this reading. So don't get bogged down by trying to achieve something. And that's something I can tell myself as well, because I'm a big achiever. I'm a Virgo and I do self-criticize, and I do overwork myself trying to accomplish something, accomplish a to-do list. But you know what? It's better when you go with the flow. It's better when you live your day in joy. And if you don't get it all done at the end, it doesn't really matter. What matters, the list is really just there to keep you going and to keep you moving so that you get in the flow of something, that what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Well, I think that's the end of the reading. I keep trying to make these readings shorter, but they're just not going to happen. I guess they like to be around 50 minutes or so. I hope you liked it. I hope you stuck with me at the end of the reading. Obviously you did if you're here. So thank you. Thank you for staying with it and staying with me. I think this was a really important message to hear. And I think you're going to achieve great things by not trying to achieve great things. And you're going to have fun along the way too. So what's wrong with that, yeah? All right. I love you guys so much. Really take care of yourself and keep going, but smell the flowers on the way. All right? Okay. Bye for now.